कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Banimarama slams Davis claims. Bodies of teenage brothers recovered. And Vungale women venture into mushroom farming.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Prime Minister Vurenge Banimarama has slammed excorvus employee Graham Davis for attacking the Fijian democracy. In a statement, the Prime Minister says that an attack on Fijian democracy, our constitution, and an attack on our independent institution is also an attack against his cabinet. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Davis, in his blog from Australia, claims that Banimarama had identified a successor and that the Fiji First government is divided along ethnic lines. In his response, Banimarama says the success of his government is a result of the democratic elections in which Fijians chose him as their prime minister.
It's funny that people outside of Fiji often have the most to say and the least to offer the country. Graham is no different. I don't know why he's dealing in gossip these days, but I also remember even in the best of times, he always seemed to find drama. And if he couldn't find it, he'd make it up. We are not a dynasty, and I do not handpick my successor. I know because they have picked my government twice. As the leader of Fiji First, I am appointed under our party's constitution, like all our office bearers, and I will once again work hard to earn the votes of the Fijian people when I lead Fiji First into the next election in 2022.
Banimarama stresses the focus of his government for now is to assist Fijians through this COVID-19 pandemic.
Until then, we have a lot of work to do. We have to recover our economy and get industries running again. We have to get jobs back and get help to those who need it most. I'm working on these issues every day. We really don't have time to waste on gossip blogs. But for old time's sake, I wish Graham all the best in his retirement in Australia.
The Prime Minister says he is ready to lead the Fiji First Party again in the next general election, where Fijians will get to exercise their rights to select their leader in 2022. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The bodies of the two brothers who were reported missing in the Ndriketi River in Vundalautoka were retrieved by police officers this morning. Both victims were believed to have been playing with their friends when the incident occurred. It is alleged that the 18-year-old was trying to get the ball from the water, and when he struggled to surface, the 17-year-old then tried to assist him, and he too failed to surface. A post-mortem will soon be conducted. Police are advising parents and guardians to keep a close watch on their children during the week-long holiday and to monitor their whereabouts to avoid such incidents. Women of Nandaro village in Vungale Tailevu are now venturing into mushroom farming as a means of sustainable income to assist them during these tough times. Villagers have also started weaving mats as an added source of income, as they normally sell root crops to earn a living. Apanisa Wangarandovu reports.
The Agriculture Ministry says mushroom is a fairly new commodity for Fiji, and they are working with rural farmers to expand on it.
We will always use our technicians that are based in Lenga Lenga in Nendi, and they will enlighten us on the various ways to produce mushroom in a tropical country like Fiji.
Villagers have also welcomed the new source of income and will not have to rely only on the sale of their root crops.
I know that planting mushroom and woven products from Vetiva will really help a lot in providing for my family, because it's often difficult to just rely on root crops all the time, which takes time to mature.
Ravobo says the new commodity also gives them the confidence to farm and support the men in the village.
As a woman in a rural community, we can only do so much as we can to help on the farm. But I'm glad that we can plant mushrooms now, which is easier than planting the usual root crops such as cassava and dal.
Mushroom farming and cultivation aims to empower women in rural areas and address food security issues and to advocate on climate-smart agriculture. Apinisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
Government is looking to expand operations at the Pacific Fishing Company in Levuka, Overlau. While on tour in Levuka, Minister for Economy Said Kayum also took time out to visit and speak with the management and workers of PAFCO. Said Kayum says over the years Levuka has been well known for PAFCO as the company is an important part of the economy in the old capital. The minister stressed the company not only provides employment to the people living in Overlau, but also to those in the Lomaiviti group.
Looking at how we can expand the operations in PAFCO, looking at some opportunities in canning skipjack tuna. They'll require some work at the wharf, and we are looking at various options regarding that.
18 dog handlers have graduated from the Canine Obedience Training Center. Dog trainer Waise Salele says he is proud of the students' hard work and is hoping that the discipline forces would utilize them. Felipe Naikaso has more.
This is the second batch of privately owned canine guard dogs that have graduated following a 6-week course.
Hopefully, Fiji Police Force, that teach me a lot, can open the door, MOU, to give our new generation a door so they can have an opportunity.
The dogs are trained in 2 sessions to learn basic obedience with the owners that is usually held at the Matavolivoli grounds in Votolevu.
I feel so happy being part of Canine Positive because it gives me the courage to handle dogs, and I can also share my bond with the dogs.
I support him through conducting the training, theory, and do the assessment of canine handling and the canines on the field and off the field.
47-year-old Salele was part of the Fiji Police Force dog unit for 7 years before he received canine dog training contracts overseas. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Up ahead, creativity helps rock market stand out. An aspiring singer releases new single.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Creative and innovative entrepreneurs were hard to miss at the rock market today, with hundreds of people flocking to see what they could purchase. Rock market organisers say with many people having lost jobs due to COVID-19, there has been a huge increase in the amount of creative people looking for a space to sell. Lena Reese has more.
With a number of similar market events around the country, the rock market organisers are confident the creative SMEs will help generate healthy competition.
It's really nice to see lots of market spaces available in Fiji, and the challenge for us is to keep the market different. So we have some amazing creative people at the market, and they've been doing really well. I think people are really changing their mindset and coming out to support small SMEs and crafters, and it's really nice to see. We're grateful for the support.
For 60-year-old Vera Shaposnikova, the simple art she learned in Russia combined with recycled items has become quite the attraction at the family event.
Last September, I started to sell in the rock market. Many people is just like wondering, they like it, they tell me amazing.
No market is complete without the food, and this caught the attention of most rock market goers.
We had to actually open up to our wait list, so we currently have a wait list of about 80 people, and this month we brought in 4 new food vendors because a lot of the food was selling out, so it's always the first place people go.
The next rock market, scheduled for next month, will take place at Thurston Garden over a 2-day period in collaboration with Fiji's 50th independence celebrations. Lena Reese, FBC News.
Despite the challenges faced by local artists due to COVID-19, aspiring singer Harsha Hashimital has managed to launch her first single. Hashimital believes the main challenge faced by locals is the lack of platforms that gives them the chance to expose their talent. Kritika Kumar reports.
Releasing her first original song has encouraged her to do more, with plans to release her first album in the near future.
I came out really late in doing one solo, so I would say that I never got approached for that unless Mr. Punhal has approached me. So yeah, I would say I was lucky enough to have a solo original, though I'm in late 20s, but I'm very lucky to have a solo.
Hashimital says being a performer is difficult and artists must grab every opportunity they can to gain more exposure. Song producer Punal Chand, who has been helping local artists, says working with Hashimital allowed him to help the aspiring singer release her first single.
Last year I released an album which was Small World Big Dreams. It consists of many singers from Fiji and also from Solomon Islands.
Chand says there are many talented singers in the country. He has invested around $2,000 to set up a studio at his home to provide a platform for local aspiring singers.
But the basic thing about mixing and production is not the expensive things, it's the creativity, how creative you are. So basically that's it.
Chand is also trying to introduce electronic music in the country, and he has produced 13 songs so far. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The pride in singing the national anthem on Independence Day in 1970 is one of the many memories Zarina Rees still holds dear to her heart. Rees, now 60 years old, was only 10 when Fiji became an independent state. She is also one of the many Brownies, a Girl Guide group back in the day, that marched to celebrate the historic occasion. Apanisa Wangarundovu has her story.
I pray for God's guidance and blessing on the independent...
The memories of being part of a historic event for Fiji have not faded for Rees, and she believes that the national anthem has contributed a lot in uniting Fijians.
I remember us screaming and singing Blessing Grounds, O God of Nations on the Isles of Fiji. I loved our national anthem. That was it. And I loved the marching that we did, you know, like so many children all marching, different colors going through.
Rees's fond memories were the constant sound of the anthem on the radio that would be played repeatedly soon after Fiji gained independence from the British Empire.
There used to be very few stations though then. It was a Hindi and a Fijian and a English. But yeah, they used to play the Azadi or the independence song. The local people sang, they played that. And I remember my mom used to run to the radio and put it loud and listen, you know. And we listened too. And I think I had a lot of interest.
She says the atmosphere felt during the historic event is one that will be unmatched throughout history.
Everybody was one and there was no question of any indifferences or anything like that. Lovely, it was beautiful.
The 60-year-old says Fiji has grown significantly in half a century and will continue to evolve in years to come. She hopes Fijians will be able to appreciate the contribution made by those that helped build our beautiful nation in this year's anniversary celebration. Apanisa Wangarundovu, FBC News.
Turning a dream into a reality is possible through determination and sheer hard work. This has been the driving force behind Manthavan Reddy's success as he grew from a cane harvester to owning a thriving business in Namara, Lambasa. In today's Successful Fijian, we look at the journey of 53-year-old Reddy, the owner of Lambasa Farm Fresh. Kritika Kumar has his story.
Born and raised in Lambasa, Madhavan Reddy dropped out of school in year 10 to help his parents in the cane fields. However, the tables turned in 2011 when he started his business with his brother.
We started business, he financed me to start it. He funded my business here. He funded me about $25,000 to $30,000. I took loan from him. Then we started this business with the help of my brother.
The Lambasa Farm Fresh Limited, which specializes in packaging and is a wholesale company, faced its share of challenges before establishing a market in Australia.
When I started my business, I was not getting enough vegetables for frozen because the farmers that didn't knew that I'm doing. So slowly the farmers, we went to meet the farmers, we talked to them, then they knew that. Then slowly the farmers knew us, and they're bringing all their vegetables to us.
Besides assisting local farmers, Reddy's company also provides training to its employees to help them improve their skills and gain confidence. Despite its 10 years of operation, Reddy is still learning more about his own export business.
Farmers were very happy because, some of the farmers they're bringing, and I buy all the vegetables same time, just like cowpeas. I buy jackfruit, breadfruit, evi, daruka, cowpeas, bongo chili, wild chili, taro leaves, bele leaves, cassava leaves.
Reddy believes there is no secret to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work and learning from failure.
Anybody can start a business if they want. If they want to export business, they can. But they must have confidence that they want to do it.
The 53-year-old plans to expand his market to ensure his products reach as many people as possible. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Lambasa stuns the Delta Tigers in VPL, and Nandi unbeaten in last 4 rounds of Skipper Cup. Details after the break.
Pula natang ko aproslan karse, go erkraki. Do televizyon na barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
The Lambasa football side stunned Vodafone Premier League leader Rewa 2-1 in their clash at Ratadakambao Park this afternoon. Both teams started off strongly in the first half, presented with a number of opportunities that were not able to be converted into points. Both teams were locked 0-0 at half-time. Lambasa looked to be a much better side in the start of the second half, with Taniela Wanga, Ashnil Raju and Siotame Kumbu proved to be a formidable combination. Taniela Wanga created a few opportunities to score but couldn't quite get the finishing. It wasn't until the 7th minute of the second spell when a corner kick by Ashnil Raju saw Ilisoni Lolaivalu score a beautifully headed goal. Lambasa bounced back following Rewa's equaliser with a quick corner kick by Raju that was brilliantly netted by Lolaivalu for his double.
Followed the game plan. We came to high press, and I think so after the first change we managed to do that. Boys played really well. I think so they followed what our game plan was.
I reminded the boys this week that for Lambasa to restore the position in the some fame back in this competition or the overall calendar for Fiji football, I think beating us was a good motivation for them.
In other VPL matches today, Suva beat Navua 4-1, Nandi defeated Nasinu 3-1, while Bayan Lautoka played to a 0-0 draw. 2 tries in the first half to Nandi winger Mino Nasayara proved the difference as the Jet Setters held on to a 14-11 win over Naita Asiri in their Skipper Cup match at Prince Charles Park. A gutsy second half defence was the key for Nandi, shutting down the relentless pressure from the Highlanders. Felipe Naikaso has the details.
Naita Asiri got off to a strong start, dominating the first few minutes of the match, which also resulted in them getting a 3-point lead. However, Nandi scored the first try of the game when Amino Nasiara crossed the line. Nasiara got his double moments later after reading the Naita Asiri play well and getting the interception to score under the sticks. Despite being down 14-3, the visitors continued to work harder and finally broke Nandi's defense as Kaliova Modetandra went over for a try to close the gap. The conversion was unsuccessful as Nandi led 14-8 at halftime. In the second half, Naita Asiri started off well and cut Nandi's lead by 3 points as Etoni Rokotusawa landed a drop goal, but Nandi held on for the win.
What drove us to come today for a win was Naita Asiri team being a champion team. Being a top team in Fiji, that's what drove us. What we did to Namos, we did to them.
We came with that game plan. We were a bit poor in our execution, and our decision making really cost us badly today. So we'll move forward from here.
Nandi is currently unbeaten in their last 4 matches. Philippe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
The International Youth Football Academy is pushing for the development of football and futsal in the country, aimed at helping youngsters. IYFA is a private academy that sees the involvement of children as young as 4 years go through development stage of football to build their skills in the sport. Around 180 children are part of the academy, and technical director Riva Ali says the numbers are expected to grow.
Our main objective is to develop kids, have kids a place where they can come and learn, at the same time sharpen their skills, and move on to play either club or district level.
16 years after the Brumbies beat the Crusaders in the 2004 Super Rugby final, the Canberra-based side are the kings of Australian rugby once more, after downing an injury-hit and ill-disciplined Queensland Reds 28-23 last night. 20-year-old playmaker Noah Lolesio was in sublime form, leading the Brumbies to victory. Suliasi Vunivalu's Melbourne Storm have secured the second spot on the National Rugby League ladder after outclassing the West Tigers 50-22 in their clash last night. The Vunivalu and Jerome Hughes combination was on point as they collaborated on 2 tries in the 5th and 27th minute of the game that contributed to their victory. Manchester United did not get the start they wanted in the English Premier League, suffering a 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace this morning. In weather, cloudy periods with some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Fine weather with isolated brief afternoon and evening showers affects the rest of the country. Quick look at the weather map. In the west, fine weather was experienced during the day apart from brief afternoon showers. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, it was cloudy all day long with brief showers over certain parts of the main centres. And up north, fine apart from afternoon and evening showers. At sea, a high-pressure system lies to the southwest of Fiji, directing a fresh to strong southeast wind flow over Fiji waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots can be expected. Rough seas, moderate southerly swells. Now turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 8:40 tonight with low tide at 2:19 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 5:57. Now for tomorrow, expect similar conditions to prevail in most centres. And our further outlook, it's for tomorrow, Monday. Cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Mainly fine weather elsewhere. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Banimarama slams Davis claims bodies of teenage brothers recovered, and Vungale women venture into mushroom farming. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking, do we need to have lifeguards at all picnic spots and beaches? Visit our FBC website to answer. And send us newsworthy pictures to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and blessed new week ahead. Bye for now.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.